Welcome back to For Your Busan, and we now have Casey in the studio, an American Aje who got married here and is living happily ever after with his family in Busan City. And he's here for Relationship Matters, and he'll be giving us great relationship advice. Isn't that right?
That's right, and not just about romantic relationships. Sometimes we get into family relationships, people-to-people relationships, and today it's going to be not romantic. Because I told my wife what I said last week, and she was like, 나한테 욕했나요?
Oh.
I was like, yeah.
Oh. She didn't say yo, right? She said, 나한테 욕했나?
했나? Oh.
Yeah.
맞아요. 했나?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what she, yeah, you're exactly right.
소름.
나한테 욕했나?
무서워요. 네.
Yeah, 저도요.
안 했어요.
No, I admit it. I was like, yeah.
Oh, did you?
I was like, so be careful.
Ooh.
Because once a week I could come in here and, enjoy myself.
And it's live.
That's right.
Yeah, there's
Can't
no
take
going
it back.
Exactly. How are you doing, by the way?
Good. Yeah, I'm enjoying the break in the rain. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a clear day tomorrow.
I'll take it.
And the weather will be warming up for the cherry blossom trees, I think.
벚꽃 많이 났어요.
지금 좀
Yeah.
많이 피고 있어요.
Yeah.
Especially
How do you say
in Santa
피고? 피고 있어요?
피고 있어요.
Yeah, that's blooming, I guess.
It's blooming, yeah. And then maybe on the weekend we'll have, a lot of the cherry blossomed.
Yeah. Hopefully there's not some huge windstorm that blows them away. And that seems to happen every year.
Don't say that. Knock on wood.
Oh,
Come
right.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, don't say it or it will grow. There's some kind of Korean expression, right? If you say something, it will happen.
It'll happen. Yeah, we don't want that to happen.
Uh-oh. Take it back.
All right. So you're here for Relationship Matters. What do you have for us today, Casey?
I want to talk about school. I want to talk about school today. And I was curious. I was thinking about it myself. Do you remember how you got to school when you were little?
Yeah. How little? I mean...
Like elementary school.
Elementary school, in the... What do you call those? Really early elementary school years, I would take the school bus.
Me too.
But then from grade 5 and onwards, I biked to school.
Actually rode a bicycle?
Yeah, it was
cool.
like a 10
Not a motorcycle?
No.
Okay.
Like a 10 to 15 minute cycling distance.
Did you go by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah. My parents were like, go ahead. They're
Nice.
really cool about it.
Cool.
But yeah,
I would say that's kind of a different experience, right? That's pretty unique. Maybe?
Yeah, biking, yeah, and I got into a lot of bike accidents myself when I was young.
Me too. Here, 2 down here in my leg, for sure.
I accidentally pressed the front brakes.
Oh.
And I was going downhill.
Did it launch you?
Guess what happened? And I had a clarinet in my bag.
Oh.
So it was a huge, face forward implanted on the asphalt. And
hopefully the clarinet was not broken, though, right?
No, my body's got it taken care of it. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the most important part.
It broke the fall for the clarinet.
Exactly. All right, so what about the school bus?
Yeah, so the reason I brought this up, because as far as I can remember, I took the school bus. And I don't know about you, but I really did not enjoy riding the school bus.
Oh, you didn't?
No. I lived in 2 different areas when I was young, like New York, Long Island, New York, and then North Carolina when I was, still in elementary school. And it was just not fun.
Question.
Yeah.
Did you sit in the front or in the back?
That was important. You had to go to the back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to get picked on.
Yeah.
Like
the cool kids in the back, man.
Yeah. And I was not that cool. So they were sometimes hey, what are you doing here?
Oh.
And so I had to quickly insult somebody else so I can keep my spot in the back. It was
no.
Yeah, it was like Survivor.
Yeah, I sat in the middle.
Oh, that's kind of no man's land.
Yeah, exactly. Don't touch me. Don't bother me,
yeah,
please.
Right.
Yeah,
please. Yeah, so as far as I can remember, most of the times it wasn't that bad, but sometimes it was a nightmare, and sometimes it was just kind of boring. You just, I don't know, kind of stare out the window or something. And my son just started elementary school, and I was like, nah, we're not going to do that. And actually, he doesn't have to take the bus because we live so close. So sometimes my wife actually drives him to school, but I said, no. I have time twice a week. I'm going to walk him to school.
Wow.
We're going to walk together because I never had that experience.
Wow, that's actually really nice.
Thank you. I feel like a nice dad sometimes.
Yeah, you're actually putting in a lot more time to really commit to being with your kids. That's really nice.
Yeah. So, and then I wish I could do it every day, but I can only do it on Wednesday and Thursday just because of my schedule. And it takes a lot more time than it would otherwise. Like if we just take the car, it'd probably be a 20-minute trip, but it takes me like an hour, it's like 30 minutes to get there and back. So it's a good hour of my morning that I have to just be like, all right, cool, just do it.
Okay, and when did you start that, and how's it going now?
I think we started about 2 weeks. What are we in March? The third week of March? What are we at?
March 26th.
Yeah, okay. So it's probably been about 2 or 3 weeks we've been doing it. The first week I couldn't. But yeah, so I love it and he loves it.
That's good.
We actually both look forward to it.
Wow.
So I'm doing it tomorrow morning.
Oh, awesome.
So
and
yeah.
he's like, Daddy,
Yeah.
you're going to walk me to school, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, that's a very good impression of Sean. Very good. That's exactly what he sounds like.
All right. And why do you think it's so much more enjoyable than maybe just, taking him by car?
Well, one reason is we're kind of lucky. The route that we get to walk is we go through Pyeonghwa Gongwon. So I don't know if have you ever been?
Pyeonghwa Gongwon?
Yeah.
Is it by the UN Memorial Park?
Exactly. It's
Okay.
right. Yeah, it's like the park adjacent to it.
Right.
And it's the one that's open all the time. The UN one is kind of limited hours, but
Yeah.
So yeah, we're watching 벚꽃,
Yes.
the cherry blossoms every day. Like
Yeah.
we've been like looking at that. Like, ooh, so we're like observing nature. We're
That's
getting to see
awesome.
people walking dogs and stuff. It's just like a lot of fun.
You get to have a lot of what you call small talk with your kid.
Yeah, and for those of you out there who are parents who drive your kids to school, maybe you have the same experience. When you drive your kids in a car, it's just not the same. You can't really talk to each other.
Yeah, and your kid might be on the phone.
We don't have that problem yet, but that's
Okay.
coming up.
Yeah, but if you're walking,
Yeah.
at least you can kind of converse. And you have to walk in the same pace as your kid as well. You
Yeah, I
can't
try.
just-
I try.
Normal pace, your kid will be way behind you.
Yeah, it happens. I look back and I'm like, oh, sorry, Sean. Because I do see a lot of other parents
Yeah.
like holding hands with their kid as they're walking, and we kind of don't usually. And I'm kind of like, oh, is that an American thing? Like,
Right.
Is it weird that I don't hold my son's hand? I'm kind of like, oh, should I be holding his hand? So we kind of do, I'll speed up a little bit or he'll run ahead. So we kind of have to keep pace with each other.
Exactly. And you said you've been doing this for about 2 weeks,
Yeah,
3
it seems like
weeks.
2 or 3, yeah.
Do you see other parents doing this with their kids as well, like on their way to school? Or is
Yeah.
it just maybe you and your kid?
No, there's a lot out there. However, I seem to be the only dad.
Oh.
So I notice it's mostly moms, and it actually seems like a couple grandmas, and I'm just guessing. I mean, I could be wrong, but also it seems like there's one girl who seems way too young to be a mom, so maybe big sister.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't see a lot of dads out there, so I kind of wanted to share this experience as a father,
Right.
And be like, it is well worth it if you can manage it in your schedule. And I know everybody's not, that doesn't have like that flexible of a schedule, but if you can make it happen,
Yeah.
it's well worth the extra time it takes.
For sure. And as your kid is walking next to you and sees other parents and other kids, with their parents walking,
Yeah.
it kind of shows them that, it's not just my dad who's doing that,
Right.
but it's like a normal thing too.
Right. And
Yeah.
there was actually a cool idea. I read about this because I was thinking about parents who might like the idea of letting their child walk to school, but maybe they can't work out their schedule.
Yeah.
There's something called let's see, what is it called? It's a walking school bus. Have you ever heard of this?
Walking school bus.
Yeah, it's the first time I ever heard of it.
No, what is that?
So basically, this is an idea, and I guess this comes from the U.S., so it's maybe something that's a little more common there. The idea is that you get like a large group of children who walk together with just a few adults.
Oh.
So, like if not every adult can manage to do it in the morning, maybe some people that you trust, some friends or some of your sons or daughters' classmates whose parents you know pretty well, like, hey, do you mind? So the idea is it kind of starts as a small group, and as you go along, the more and more people kind of join it, and it becomes like a bus in itself.
Oh, that's cool.
And you don't need that many adults. Get some adults in the front, get some adults in the back to make sure everybody's together. And because you're such a big visible group, the safety's a little bit more efficient, I guess I could say, because traffic is an issue around here.
For sure, especially in the mornings, right?
Yes.
That's really cool. Maybe you could call them chaperones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So and this is something I was thinking about. Do you think if I bring this up, because I'm starting to see the same people every Wednesday and Thursday, and I haven't said hi yet, but I probably will.
Yeah.
Do you think this is something I could bring up and be like, hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah, for sure. I think once you talk to them, befriend them, and open up a group chat room,
right?
You could suggest something like that, and then you could all create this walking school bus.
Wow, this would be cool, right?
And it could be like the first walking school bus in your district.
I'm excited. Suddenly I'm like, all right. I was a little nervous about the idea before. I was like, can I really? Because I'm the only guy, so it feels a little... Plus, my Korean skills aren't that good.
But it's also a way for you to improve your Korean skills.
Good point.
Yeah.
And this is something I noticed, like, when I get to the front gate, because I don't know if this is the same for every school, but you basically have to, take your child to the gate, and then they walk into school by themselves.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that started during COVID or not, but you just can't go in. And I was like, oh. So I noticed, the spot where I kind of wait and watch my son go in, there's a lot of moms who they just, it seems like that's their regular hangout spot. They're just like, hey, how you doing? There's a lot of that.
Exactly.
So I was thinking, maybe this would be something cool that people would be interested in doing together.
I think it'll be a great idea to pitch once you get to know some of these parents yourself.
Right, not tomorrow. It's a little too soon.
Well, say hi once in a while and then approach them, right?
Yeah, I think, you kind of just can't. Yeah.
If you just go up in front of them and be like, hey, would you be interested in walking our kids together?
Who are you?
Yeah, kind of shocking.
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of benefits, but can you highlight some interesting benefits that people might want to know when it's good to walk your kids?
Yeah, so, I did think about this because I thought the big benefit for me is actually having the chance to talk to my son kind of with no pressure because we're just walking, we got nothing else to do. So I find he just starts talking to me about things. I'm like, oh, cool. So we need this time.
Right.
The other thing I realized was oh, you know what? Traffic safety. This is a good time to make sure he understands it.
Oh, yeah. When you're crossing the street or the traffic lights itself.
Yep. So I'm always like, oh, hand up, put your hand up, and he's like, oh, yeah. And
do you also put your hand up too?
I do sometimes. I should every time, though, right?
Yeah, you should, yeah.
I should every time.
Your kids will follow the parent, yeah.
Right, you're right. You should lead by example.
Right.
Sometimes I feel like I'm so tall that it feels I'm hulking, but you're right, I should do it too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have kids, but I guess I'm a talker now.
That's and that's the thing. It's cool. Usually when you're in the car, I don't know, you got so much traffic around you and you're so worried about what's happening on the road. Even if your children ask you something, I find I can't focus on what they're saying. And I'm always tempted to have the radio on, BEFM 90.5 FM. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just hard to focus on what,
I totally feel you because when I'm driving and I have people talking to me or asking me questions, I have to focus 100% on the road.
Right.
What if something pops out in the middle of nowhere, like an
all
animal
the time.
or something, right?
It happens all the time.
You have to have my eyes and ears and everything focused on the road.
Yep.
So I would definitely love, if I have a kid, if I were married and have kids, I'd definitely love to take out on a walk to school, things like that. We've had some messages here, Casey. Yeah. We've had Jenny Nim texting in, Casey, your kids must be happy to go to school with you.
You know what? And that's actually something I'm kind of... so my son just started elementary school, first grade, and our daughter she's going to be 3 soon. So she just started preschool.
Yeah.
So I can't take them both because they go very different ways.
Right.
So the young one's getting a little jealous, I think.
So, would you alternate days if she gets a little older?
That's a good idea. I might have to. Her preschool's a little bit too far to walk.
Yeah. So you got to run back.
I know. And my wife was like, the first time I mentioned doing this, my wife was like, wait a minute, you're just taking the one and making me still drive the other one? So I had to kind of convince her about this. I was like, no, trust me, this will be worth it. Just walk. Because Sean, our son, he just kind of needs time with me just to kind of hang out. And,
For sure.
And it took a little while to get used to it. We woke up a little too late to leave, so we had to kind of rush through the park.
Yeah.
But after we kind of figured out what time is the right time to leave, now it's just chill. We just kind of walk slowly, take our time.
Nice.
When else do you get that time in the day?
Exactly. And I think it's good that you kind of made this a routine.
Yes.
And so your son looks forward to it, which is awesome.
Yep.
We also had Miok Stella Yinim texting in saying, 특히 so she said, well, good afternoon. 방송 잘 듣고 있어요. 특히 케이스가 함께하는 세그멘트 재밌어요.
고맙습니다.
And then she said, 케이스 기다렸어요. Yeah, so she looks forward to. I mean, she listens to For Your Busan all the time, but she really looks forward to your segment particularly.
감사합니다.
And also added on saying, 부산에 놀러 가서 함께 수다 떨면 재미있을 것 같은 게스트.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
So maybe this could act as a catalyst or act as encouragement for you to say hi to the other parents
That's it, right?
because they might see you as someone. 얘기하면 재밌을 것 같은 사람.
Cool. I just have to practice that outside, not just on the radio, but outside in public as well,
Yeah.
right? Always fun.
안녕하세요.
Yeah. Oh, I really have a hard time doing that. I really do. But I'll try. I'll work on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many benefits. We just talked about interpersonal relationship with your son and your kids too, but outdoor activity, getting exposure to the sun, vitamin D, all sorts of good stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, and you're like you said before, you're like setting a routine.
Yeah.
You're setting like an exercise routine in the morning if you do this every day. You know, it's just like becomes natural. Like, all right, I'm going to get up and go walk.
Exactly.
So this is hopefully something that your kids will take further into life themselves.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, like exercise. They said, like, according to the National Institutes of Health, which is in the United States, they say kids should have like 60 minutes a day minimum outdoor activity. If you think about it, they're in school a lot of the time. And I don't know how long their outdoor breaks are. So at least if you're doing this for 30 minutes in the morning, you're like, all right, I got halfway.
Yeah.
At least that.
Right. And in the morning, that small activity could really boost the good positive hormones. So
Yeah.
that when they go to school, they're already energized and ready to study.
Yeah, instead of like straight out of the car into school, like from indoors to indoors in a way, it's just like, it's not the same.
Unless you drive a convertible.
Right.
I'm kidding.
I'm working on that. That's my next purchase.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in today for Relationship Matters, Casey.
My pleasure as always, David, and I'll see you next week.
See you next